We are in the month of October, which is being celebrated as Women's History Month. And I would like to recognize the contributions women have been and still are making towards our society. History sometimes ignores women and their contributions, and this leaves out important parts of the full story of the role many women played in helping us to be where we are today. Women have really come a long way on this planet we call Earth, from an era dominated by the male species to an almost egalitarian society. Let us go way back in time and acknowledge some of these great women. I say some because time will not permit me to mention all of them, as there are so many. One of the most well-known women in this world that has been written down in history is the Virgin Mary. That's Jesus' mother. She is probably the most famous woman in history, especially among Christians and Muslims. She's known for giving birth to the Christ Jesus. The unsung heroine of this era, though, in my opinion, is Mary Magdalene. She was given a negative image in the scriptures of the Bible. But if one should do their research, they would discover that her true story was quite the opposite. Remember, in those days, women were not allowed to play important roles outside of their household duties. So anyone who dares to do so would be chastised, probably killed, or defamed. Their stories would never be written down in history. However, this all changed when women started speaking out for their rights. Now let me give you some examples. In 1848, Elizabeth Stanton and Lucretia Mott, hope I'm pronouncing it properly, organized the first Women's Rights Convention in New York. Then in 1869, Millicent Fawcett, Carrie Chapman, and Julia Howe, along with some others, formed the American Women's Suffrage Association. Now this started the wheel rolling, so to speak, for women to gain the right to vote in elections and even run for office. Then in August 2008, coming closer now to our time, Michelle Obama delivered a speech in which she said, "The only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them." Michelle Obama was the first black woman to assume the role of First Lady of the United States. Many black women never knew they would even live to see such a thing, because many never did. If only the late Rosa Parks, an American activist in the civil rights movement, could have seen how her contributions lit a spark to the fire that burns now for us women. So many women lit sparks. Let me mention some. For example, Harriet Tubman, who escaped slavery and made 13 missions to rescue 70 enslaved people to freedom. I mean, she was already free, and she went back to free some of her others. That was bravery. She used the so-called now Underground Railroad. That's what they called it back then. Let's come closer to home now here in Jamaica. There was Mary Seacole. She was a nurse. She spent her life helping the sick and wounded. There is the Right Honorable Dr. Louise Bennett Coverley, well known for her poems, lovely poems, otherwise called Miss Lou. She wrote her poems in the Jamaican Creole, and back in those days, they weren't allowed writing poetry, writing any kind of book in patois, as we call it, the Jamaican Creole. No, we could not do it then. But Louise Bennett, she did not give up. She pressed on and she accomplished her goals. She had a fight, but she won. We have so many poems now in Creole and even stories. She was very good at folklores too. Now let us mention the Jamaican heroine Nanny of the Maroons. Cannot forget her. She's one of our heroes, the 7 heroes of Jamaica. She was a runaway slave who fought for freedom in Jamaica. I could not end without mention of the many female athletes who helped to highlight Jamaica and show that women can do well in sports too. Now we have Merlin Ottey, Veronica Campbell, Shelley and Fraser Price, Elaine Thompson-Herah, Grace Jackson, Dion Hemmings, among many others. So proud of them. And recently, the young female footballers. Yes, women are doing everything now that men only did back in the days. We also have female firefighters, can you believe that? And mechanics, and many other fields that were forbidden for women in the past. Yes, women are making strides. We even had a woman prime minister in Jamaica, the Right Honorable Portia Simpson Miller. There are many other women leading countries in the world now. Back then, it was a no-no. Women have really come a far way. Carry on, my sisters. The wind of change is flowing, and we have indeed come a far way. No more forced to stay in the kitchen. We can be anything we want to be. It has been my pleasure speaking to you today. Have a blessed Sunday. I am Colleen